As I'm sure you'd all agree, sex trafficking is a heartbreaking and harrowing crime, and it's happening much closer to home than you may realise. So how can our banks help to prevent it? The human trafficking industry is booming. Traffickers make an estimated $350 billion each year by forcing people to work and have sex against their will. Around 300,000 people are trafficked for sex in the US alone. Most are female, some are children. Many are abused in brothels disguised as other businesses. These can be beauty parlours, spas, restaurants, bars, nail salons, and clubs of all types, which pose as genuine businesses, outwardly claiming to offer legal services. The victims are trafficked under false promises of legitimate work, but when they arrive in whatever city they've been taken to, their passports are stolen, they're cut off from the outside world, and they're told that they owe the traffickers huge sums of money to cover their expenses. So, to repay those debts, the victims are forced to have sex with strangers. The traffickers hide what's happening in plain sight in areas known for prostitution, brazenly advertising their sex services online. The buyers, tragically, usually white, male and married, turn up at all hours. They leave reviews on online forums, graphically explaining and rating the abuse on offer. To avoid detection from financial services, the traffickers employ creative accountants to cook the books. They inflate the cost of genuine purchases, so money earned from slavery, drugs and other forms of human suffering can flow undetected through the brothels into the banking system. Their finances are structured across multiple accounts and financial institutions. Their bank deposits fall just under the threshold for investigation. So even if law enforcement is tipped off, the criminals use a network of shell companies to disguise their ownership. And as one brothel shuts down, another opens just a few blocks away with the same owners. It's a tried and tested method. Sadly, it's very effective. But in using the banking system, the traffickers leave a financial footprint, a set of behaviours that offer clues that hint at what's really going on. With the right information, banks can find these patterns in their financial data, and these patterns then can help law enforcement uncover commercial front brothels in places they may not have been looking before. Let's consider Sunset Spa, a hypothetical beauty salon in the US. Sunset Spa's details have been found on several commercial sex advertising sites. A quick look at their transaction history shows they're making regular payments to several other dodgy media companies. And what's more, there doesn't seem to be much payroll expenditure. It's pretty unusual for a beauty salon, particularly one that's making so much money. Instead, they seem to be spending a lot at drug and fast food and sex stores. Most of their inbound payments are made by male customers at night. Again, that's odd in an industry with a clientele that's mostly female and usually visits in daytime hours. So none of this behaviour fits the typical profile of a beauty salon. And now, with the current rule-based approach to anti-money laundering, much of this goes undetected. But with the right reference data, red flags and a persona-based approach, banks can start to raise alerts much faster than a tip-off could. Why isn't Sunset Spa spending anything on payroll? Why are their details showing up on websites advertising sex services? And isn't it strange that most of their business happens in the early hours? It doesn't take much digging to uncover what's hidden behind these fronts. We only need to ask the right questions. But to do that, we need the right information. And this is where the Red Flag Accelerator comes in. Our persona-based approach helps banks to better detect sex trafficking within their financial data. By understanding who is involved in a commercial front brothel operation and how they behave, anti-financial crime teams and AML vendors can start to raise red flags when their customers start acting suspiciously. If a company's financial data does not fit the usual profile for a business of their type, we can start to do some digging. With the data that we've compiled on illicit businesses, facilitators, money mules, victims, sex buyers, and everyone in between, banks can now find commercial front brothels in areas that they may not expect to. And we've combined this information with external reference data from the dark web and adverse media searches to help banks uncover one of the worst human crimes around today. So if you'd like to learn more about how to spot commercial front brothels, download your free investigation guide today. Thank you.